Okay.
Okay, all right. Sorry. Sorry. I had the time all messed up, guys. My laptop is shit now. Apparently, I had to pull out my phone, so I definitely need to get a new laptop. I know it's been a while since I went live. Is that me in the background?
Yeah, I was like I said, I was making sure it was working from a different end. Like I had YouTube open and I was making sure it was working, and yeah, it's working.
Okay. Okay. But anyways, so tonight's guest is Jackson. Uh,
Hey.
he is you're a YouTuber, right?
Yeah, I'm. I go by that nerdy guy on all my streaming platforms, but my friends call me Jackson.
Okay, awesome. So we got that nerdy guy in the house, and just like the rest of us, he's a Snyder fan and a comic book fan. So tonight's gonna be a little different because you guys already know that I am not deep into the comics. I have general, what do you call it? General knowledge when it comes to some of the DC characters, but like all the I'm sure Braxton. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm sure Jackson knows more characters than I do, so that's gonna be interesting. Hold on, my fucking dog, dude. Hold it.
It's all right.
Hold on. Why you
No worries. Take your time.
gotta right now? Period. Hurry up. Her name's Feora.
Oh, that's cute.
So, anyways, but for the oh my God, Dots. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna let the what's up, Dots. I'm not gonna let the this guy owes me money. He told me Superman was gonna make one bill and he ghosted me. Ghosted me. He owes me $100. He owes me a fucking $100. But anyways, I love you, Dots. But anyways, so back to what I was saying. So yeah, you're gonna be a little different than my normal viewers because most of my viewers and most of the people I invite here are like super hardcore. Hold on just a second.
Okay.
Get in here.
Where my power a-holes.
I can't believe she's doing this right now, dude. Hurry up. Come on. There's this stupid dog next door that she barks at.
Oh.
Anyways, so where the hell was I going with that? Okay, let me get into interview bell mode. Okay, so tonight we have Jackson, and we're just gonna get to know him a little more. Jackson, if you don't mind putting your social media and your YouTube stuff in the comments so people can find you.
Okay. Let me open up the.
Oh, you do it right now. Just you feel free is what I'm saying, because I know some people might be interested in your thoughts and your opinions, and might want to follow you and get to know you more. Hurry
Yeah,
up, Laura.
for sure. Yeah, I like I said earlier. I'm going through a bit of a um problem personally, but I'm making it work via Instagram and Facebook, talking about this stuff. Nerdy guy.
Yeah, I know you've been a viewer for a while. I remember. I usually remember, especially names like that. I keep, believe it or not, I keep track on like my viewers and stuff.
Sorry, I just put in my
Guys,
Instagram. I just need to put on my Facebook and TikTok. I have a TikTok thanks to my wife.
you have TikTok too?
Yeah, yeah, you can thank my wife for that.
That's cool.
I just did a Casey Jones transition on that.
Casey Jones, like in Ninja Turtles.
Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah, he's my favorite cosplay that I did so far, aside from Spider-Man, of course.
Oh, you're a cosplayer.
Yeah, I might have to show you a picture later, but I made that Spider-Man costume. Like you've seen, you probably seen it on Instagram, but I made it when I was 16.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
I don't think I had any. I don't think I've had any cosplayers on here yet. So, I'll get into a couple general questions so the chat can get to know you. You don't have to say what city you're from, but what state are you from?
The great state of Tennessee.
Oh, Tennessee!
Hmm.
I love Tennessee. I was stationed out there. I'm sure you know that.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, I was stationed out in Clarksville.
Oh, cool.
I guess that's more like Tennatucky, whatever you want to call it.
Ah, I never heard of that name.
Well, it's right on the border. The duty station I was on, it's like right on the border, so I could literally go to Kentucky the same day if I wanted to go to the Walmart or whatever.
Cool.
But yeah, I love that state. So that's good. So you're a Southern boy. I don't really hear. Did you grow up there?
Partly, like it was, like you could basically say almost immediately after I was born in Tennessee, we moved to Mississippi, and then Arizona for like 5 6 years, then Louisiana, back to Tennessee for another 5 years, North Carolina, and back to Tennessee. So if you've been around as much as I have, you always feel like the new guy.
Okay. So you're a Southern boy, but like you're maybe I just gotta listen to you talk more, and I'll probably hear a couple words that sound Southern, because most of the people I know from the South, they have like a draw, you know.
Yeah, I know that. But like I said, I've basically grown up all over the place.
Yeah, that makes sense. But my daughters are out in North Carolina. I'm familiar with that part where you're at, Tennessee and North Carolina. But anyways, so okay, so you're from the South, you bounced around. That's cool. So what brought you into this space, into the I mean obviously comics, but I'm sure it was more than that. What brought you into the Snyderverse space?
Um, it was like I admit that by the time the earlier marketing, like the teasers for Man of Steel, rolled around, like it looked interesting, but I admit like, and this was at a time when the one Superman related things that, or multiple related things about Superman that I've seen were just the Justice League cartoon, a few episodes, and Superman Returns, and this animated movie, Superman Brainiac Attacks. That's it. Like I hadn't read any Superman at the time. I haven't seen the original animated series. None of it. But it actually caught my interest because I was hearing from my brother that this was going to be like, if it was successful, it would be the start of bringing together the Justice League. And it did interest me a bit more, and I watched it at the premiere via a collectible theater ticket from Walmart. I don't know if you remember that, but I was just blown away. Like, yeah, the movie, like we all have that movie that changes our perspective on how we see movies, and Man of Steel did that for me, and I just loved it so much that I had the opportunity to see the Wolverine that same year on my birthday because I turned 13 finally. But I asked my dad, "Hey, can we go see Man of Steel again?" And we did.
Oh wow, you were 13 when you went to go watch Man of Steel.
Well, I was 12 when it came out, and when and I kid you not, the end of the summer when I turned 13, it was still in theaters, and we saw it again.
Oh, okay. So you're I'm guessing you're a young millennial, right? Zillennial.
Uh, more like Gen Z. I was born in like 2000, like on the
Okay.
dot.
Well, I you heard about the cuspers, right? Where it's like
Y-
a you sound because most people that since I've been in this a part of this fandom, and even before that, I noticed it's the Snyderverse attracts a lot of millennials and a lot of Gen Xers. Some
Really?
Zers, but mostly Gen Zers that are not like the super young Gen Zers, but like Gen Zers like you that are like right at the cusp of the transitioning of generations. But
Yeah, I see what you mean.
watching it for as a kid versus watching it as an adult, do you still get that same feeling when you watch it as an adult?
I honestly like both that and more because I've been getting more into the Superman comics recently thanks to my family. Like I I have this a variety of different lists on Amazon with a certain category. I just showed my parents my Superman shopping list, like various comic books, yeah, t-shirts, the I'm still missing the Blu-ray for Superman and Lois, but other than that, I'm set. And my mom got me the first three uh Man of Steel volumes, right? And my dad got me the first volume for Absolute Superman. And I am excited to check out the rest of the universe, but I wanted to check out that one first, and it's insane. But going back to Snyderverse, I I really appreciate it a lot more because you can tell that Zach just loves this character, and I just really think that it would have been really cool to see what ideas he had for other characters, like Green Lantern, of course, and maybe if he was ever interested, maybe he could have directed that New Gods movie that was supposed to happen, but you know.
Yeah, Green Lantern, man. We were supposed to get that cut scene. I'm sure you're aware of the John Stewart scene we were supposed to get in 2021 when he did the reshoots for Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Very aware, and you know what? As much as I believe Hal Jordan is my favorite, it's personally, uh, I would have dug Wayne T. Carr's Green Lantern. Like I haven't seen him in anything, but he looked cool, you know. And it's just, what were they thinking? Like, what were they thinking? Not letting him finish that.
He's been through the mud with a WB, so apparently, actually, I heard from what I remember, you probably heard this too, that he actually got pissed about that, and he was very close to leaving and not finishing it. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat. I remember hearing something like that because he pushed back with a couple of those scenes. I know he pushed back with the Nightmare timeline scene that we got with Jared Leto's when he reprised his role as the Joker. I know he pushed back on a lot of stuff, and I guess they were telling him that he couldn't use Green Lanterns because they were doing something with him supposedly, which
Yeah,
is fucking bullshit. He
yeah.
poor guy. But it's that's a good segue for Green Lantern because I actually like Green Lantern too. Um, John Stewart's my favorite Green Lantern, though. I'm not gonna lie. Um, let's talk about the Green Lantern 2011 because I actually have a love hate relationship for that film. What are your thoughts on that film?
Yeah, I that's my latest review on Instagram and Facebook. I posted about my personal feelings like that I saw it like like I was going on 11 by the time it came out on Blu-ray, and I wasn't allowed to see it because I wasn't 13 yet. And it was actually a friend of mine that I visited during spring break when I finally watched it. I I just like when we're kids, we just blindly love everything or blindly hate everything, and there's no um actual thought in our tastes. But like going back to it as a fan of the comics and as somebody that kind of sort of grew up with it and even got some of the merchandise with it too. Um I think it's it's really um I don't know. I keep going back to my Instagram post. Like overall, like I'll give it this. I don't think it's terrible because to me, the definition of terrible when it comes to these movies and shows, it's not caring. Because you can tell that Martin Campbell, the director of that movie, he loves Green Lantern and he wanted to put as much of the mythology in the movie as he could. But a lot of um comic books that are adapted for the first time, and this one's no exception, they either keep the mythology to a minimum or they reduce it down to tell, don't show.
Mm.
And that's eh, and it did more um to service Hal's personal life, which isn't a bad thing, but just because something is made from a place of love doesn't automatically make it great, but it does deserve a lot more credit than something that's made from cynicism or studio mandate. I don't think that it's as awesome as it could have been, but
Mm.
one of the worst superhero movies ever made? No.
No, I agree with you. I think Justice League is up there with one of the worst, and it's
Yeah.
because I grew up watching all of those characters on screen. So I agree with you on that. What did you think about the casting for Hal Jordan?
For the movie or this new show?
For no, not the, we'll get into the TV show in a minute.
Okay.
For the 2011 movie.
Um, I thought he was awesome. Like I think that might have been my first movie I ever saw Ryan Reynolds in. But and that was long before I even knew he played any DC or Marvel character. But yeah, and I would have loved to see him be back in the Snyderverse, but I totally get it. Like I'm hoping to become an actor myself one day, and if I was in his shoes and if I had not that great of experience in anything, I wouldn't blame him for feeling the way he feels.
Yeah, I remember that rumor back in 21. I think honestly, I have no issues with Ryan Reynolds. Sometimes like he's not the best actor, and he's not my favorite actor.
Yeah,
But for that role specifically for Hal Jordan during that time that it came out, I thought it worked. That's my personal opinion. I actually couldn't imagine during that time anybody else, any big name actor, anybody else be able to pull that off other than him. I think he did okay.
I actually remember this rumor before Wonder Woman was casting their actors that Chris Pine
Mm,
was in the running for Hal Jordan. That would have been brilliant.
yeah,
I still love him as Steve Trevor, but that could have been so much cooler in my opinion.
yeah. Yeah, I can see that too. I mean, a blonde, dark brown hair guy. I mean, there's plenty of actors, but during that time, I guess I felt like who else better than Ryan Reynolds to be able to pull this off? Because in the animations, not comic books, but in the animations that I grew up on and still watch till this day, Hal Jordan's kind of goofy. He can be. He's a prick, but he's also a joker at the same time. So I
He's
Ryan Reynolds pulled that part off pretty well.
Yeah,
But
and the character did originate from the Silver Age. So,
yeah,
and these are comic books, and they're not gonna just change that much just because they sound silly. Like sometimes they'll point out, yeah, like they'll point it out through jokes, but it's just not something that they can just change.
yeah, of course. So okay, so we touched a little on Green Lantern. So I'm assuming Green Lantern's your favorite superhero.
Favorite DC hero, like as far as favorite fictional characters, it's a toss up. Like it's sometimes it's one more than the other, but in my mind, it's both shoulder to shoulder between Daredevil and Spider Man. But as far as DC goes, like it's always been inconsistent across the board between Jason Todd and Tim Drake, Robin. But yeah, especially given the current state of both characters, but it's you know what, Hal Jordan got me into comic books alongside Tim Drake during that era of DC. That it I just can't fight it anymore. He is my favorite DC character.
Awesome. That's I mean, I'm sure to me personally from what I've seen online, that's a little unique because most people love Batman. Most DC fans love Batman and love Superman. Um, I love Green Lantern too, but my favorite, I would say, I always go back and forth with Batman and Superman, especially
Mhm.
now because the version of Superman that we got in 2013 makes me love Superman even more now. Because of how that storytelling was presented by Zach. So
Exactly.
speaking of Green Lantern, so I'm a little familiar with Jeff Johns and Green Lantern. What are your thoughts on his his storytelling on Green Lantern?
Um, it's sort of what should have not worked, but ended up working perfectly for this character because it's another thing that really stood out to me when I look at other people's opinions on the character recently, that he strives for redemption in himself, not through forgiveness, but through action. And I love that perspective because I don't know if you've read any Green Lantern in the 90s, but during the death of Super and reign of Superman arc, Cyborg Superman in a fight with Mongol destroyed Coast City in their battle, which was Hal Jordan's hometown. And in this desperate act of sadness, he recreated the entire city with his ring. And the Guardians saw that as a travesty, um, and they were gonna kick him out of the Corps. But what happened was, like at the time, it was just him going full on evil, like no possession, none of that. But thanks to Jeff Johns, it was retconned that the reason why he turned evil and the reason why it's also a weakness, the color yellow for the Green Lanterns, is because there is this impurity in the central battery on Oa called the Parallax entity, which is in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And he was possessed by this creature. And yeah, through 2 years worth of comic books, he was a villain, but in the end, he sacrificed himself to stop what he initially planned on rebooting the universe in his own image. And and Jeff Johns bringing what he did to the table with Green Lantern was nothing short of brilliant. In fact, one of one comic in particular of his that I can't stop until I finish is his take on the origin of Hal Jordan, Green Lantern's secret origins. And it's just a perfect comic book to me.
Yeah, you're you're deep in the comics. What do you call it? I like that you like Green Lantern and Hal Jordan. I bet you are excited about the show. Tell me your thoughts about the show?
I'm not. I'm really not. But um it sort of goes into my perspective on this universe in general. Like there was a time when I got a bit optimistic for this universe, particularly because it was at that time where the only like aside from Zack Snyder's DC movies, of course, we got so many shows and movies that and even Injustice that don't treat Superman like a superhero, aside from again Zack Snyder and Superman and Lois, of course. But you know what? Maybe this new universe could do it. But then I heard about the casting choices and bringing in various other heroes into his Superman. And I'm like, you're just doing the same mistake you did in the last universe. You're bringing in way too many characters. Like, even though I love Batman v Superman too, it's like, why would you do this? Like, it is this not a solo movie? And after that, I was just done. Like the and even with like I said, the entire universe that was announced, Booster Gold, while seeming interesting, yeah, they just changed the writing team, and it doesn't show much confidence, right? And Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, which was what it was called at the time, um, I don't like the author that wrote that book. Like I haven't read the book yet, but I don't like that author. Like he
Tom King? Is it Tom?
yes. Yes. Like for one reason in particular, well, which I'll get to later, but he's also the writer of Lanterns.
Mm.
And well, one of the writers at least. And like the what his track record of comic books is not that great. Like aside from what he did with Bane in Batman, everything else about it was just garbage. And the yeah, like like he teased the fans with finally um having a wedding between Batman and Catwoman, and Bane freaking manipulated Catwoman into leaving Bruce. And, and like, why? Like, that's not what you do. But anyways, I'm getting off topic. And even with the Brave and the Bold in this new universe, I predict that that James isn't even going to incorporate the entire Batman family, which the fans want to see, but just his personal favorites like Damian Wayne Robin and maybe Nightwing if we're lucky. And the only reason I knew I was going to spend any time or money in this new universe after not liking James's Suicide Squad that much, and them bringing in Blue Beetle, which I didn't hate, but I didn't love that much, so that was strike two.
Strike two.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm saving, like I was saving strike three particularly for Lanterns. Like the only reason I knew I'm going to spend any time or money is when they finally bring in Hal Jordan, because I love that character. And, you know, I don't like what I see. I really don't. Like, why? Like, honestly, having a tone for True Detective doesn't sound like a bad idea. It really doesn't. But why is True Detective the blueprint for the show when the comics are right there?
That's funny. That's hilarious. Um, yeah, yeah, I, I'm sure it's going to be very difficult for you not to critique, every little thing, especially with a one of your favorite DC character. Um, I saw the teaser once, I think. Yeah, once. And this Hal Jordan's supposed to be older, right?
Yeah, and you know what? He's the actor Kyle Chandler. Like, I haven't seen him in anything. I know he's in the Godzilla versus Kong movies, but like, he's got the attitude down at least. Like, yeah, I like his attitude from what I'm seeing, but why would you go out of your way to like give us all signs pointing to either he's gonna die or leave the show after the first season? And like he's like, again, he's my favorite character. Why would you only do that? Like, James, for a big fan of the DC universe, that was quite the middle finger you slipped in for us Hal Jordan fans.
Mm, yeah, yeah. And speaking of fucking James Gunn, sorry ass universe. Um, what do you think about Green Lantern being a show and not a an epic film? What are your thoughts on that?
Honestly, I love the decision of a TV show, because when it comes to a movie, I feel like we're in this stage in Hollywood where we get 310 to 350 million dollar movies about street racers becoming espionage characters. It's Fast and Furious, in case you're wondering. And freaking Big Blue Space Cats by James Cameron. There is no reason we can't give that kind of money to Green Lantern.
Did you say
And
blue? Did you say space cats? Blue space cats?
yes, like, I know the air called the Navi, but I just was just trying to be funny. That's all.
That is funny. Yeah, I'm not really a fan of Avatar. It's funny.
Yeah.
But
But
go ahead, keep going. Sorry.
yeah, I'm sorry. But as for an approach to a TV show, that honestly could have worked. Like, I don't know if you've seen Green Lantern Emerald Knights or the Green Lantern animated series.
Yes.
Oh, okay, cool. But you could have done like taken that as a blueprint in as sort of showcasing different lanterns for every episode. Like, one episode being about Hal Jordan, an episode being about Kilowog or Chip or Sinestro, and you could have had like a bunch of lesser known lanterns that, and maybe in the finale have them all come together to fight an even bigger threat.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I love that animation, by the way, Emerald Knights. I love how dark it is. It's a good balance of dark and light. um, speaking of that, see, I'm not a big Green Lantern fan, but I am. It's funny because I was telling my husband about this. I like grand stories when it comes to superhero films, especially DC, and that's why I love Zack Snyder, because he thinks on a grander scale. And with the Green Lantern Corps, that can be grand. I don't
For
understand
sure.
not it could literally be WB's Star Wars if they wanted it to be. And I don't understand why they don't do that. So
I'll
yeah.
t- I'll tell you why. It's because with one failure from a first time adaptation, we have to wait decades for something new. And we don't know how good we have it until we finally get another thing that looks arguably worse.
Yeah, it's funny. Are you talking about James Gunn?
Like I'm talking about like just DC in general. Like I honestly, like, I didn't know how good we had it as Green Lantern fans, because we had because at the time pre 2020 era, we had two awesome animated movies, First Flight and Emerald Knights, and an awesome cartoon show. Say what you will about the movie, but at least it gave us an awesome cartoon show. And my personal favorite actor to play Hal Jordan, Josh Keaton, who I've met, by the way.
Oh, you met? By the way, you said you met?
Yeah, I
Oh,
met him at
cool.
Comic Con. I gave him this little this drawing of that Spider-Man pointing meme, except I used the various DC and Marvel characters pointing at each other. That he played Hal Jordan, the Flash, and in the Justice League Crisis on Two Earths animated movie, and Spectacular Spider-Man.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool. Okay, so not too excited about the Green Lantern show. When does that come out, by the way? Do you know?
Uh, in just a little over a week. I'm probably gonna like wait till it comes out in full so I can just binge watch it and get it over with, because I am currently making my way through the series as it is right now, because I I do have my reviews for the rest of the series. I got my reviews for the entirety of the cartoon show and the Beware My Power animated movie. I just I haven't been able to buy the Rise of the Manhunters video game since I switched to PlayStation as opposed to Xbox 360. So I'm gonna have to go out and find it some at some point.
Oh, interesting. So you play video games?
I do. I mostly like, you know me. I'm a comic book guy. I'm mostly into um games that are based on comic books. But I have been recently getting into Resident Evil thanks to my wife, of course, and 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 the Hitman World of Assassination trilogy. I It makes me games like that make me feel smarter.
That's yeah, that's cool. It's funny you say that because video games, depending on the video games, they actually do. They can make your brain sharper.
Mhm.
That's funny you say that. Um, I'm a Switch. I just got the Switch too, so right now I'm playing. I restarted Tears of the Kingdom. I don't know if you're familiar with Zelda. The Zelda.
I saw it on your Instagram story. That's really cool.
Yeah, I love it. I can't wait for the movie to come out. So so you mostly play superhero games. So I'm assuming you're a Arkham guy. You like the Arkham games?
Yeah, I do. Admit I haven't played them much in a while because, like I said, I'm going through a number of different new video games. Like I was also just going through the Chronicles of Riddick games that we got on PS3.
Yeah, it's funny. I was just talking about that the other day with my husband. We were talking about the movies that came out back in the day with Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
It's funny. Okay, so cool. So we talked a little on Green Lantern and your favorite superheroes. So as far as Green Lantern being your favorite, which is obvious and apparent just from what the way you talk about him, and your shirt is pretty cool, by the way.
Thanks, my brother gave it to me.
Yeah, it's cool. I like it. So what do you think about? I'm sure it probably bothers you a little bit because it kind of bothered me in a way, but not really because I knew we were gonna get it, but then we didn't get it because WB fucked it all up for us.
Yeah, for a number of reasons.
How did you feel not being able to get to get a Green Lantern with the Justice League? Because usually that's how the Justice League rolls. They either have Hal Jordan or John Stewart, one or the other. How did you feel that we didn't get that a part of the bunch at first?
Well, first of all, we technically did, like in that flashback with Darkseid invading and the Amazons, Atlanteans coming in. And fun fact, that one Green Lantern that was in that scene, he's the Green Lantern that predates Alan Scott, who was the Golden Age Green Lantern. The second one,
Something Roger or Alger, that alien Green Lantern.
yeah, and we did get a second one technically because that little shot in the Hall of Justice in rubble, and Superman is
Uh,
holding Batman's mask, and a bunch of parademons are flying around. We
Kilowog.
see a corpse of Kilowog,
Yeah.
and like that hurt. Like
Yeah.
really hurt. That is freaking Hal Jordan's best friend, and the one live action thing that we get out of that character since the movie is a corpse. Why? Hey, you married me.
That's
My
uh,
wife called me a nerd.
I think you know what really pisses me off. I'm kind of like starting to get re-pissed off again. Is that Zach was really he had Green Lantern up his sleeve. I don't know if you read into the storyboards and stuff and how deep he was gonna go with the Nightmare timeline and the Green Lantern. And it's just like, thanks, haters and WB for fucking all that up for us. Yeah,
I
that
did I did read it, yes, and man, that just makes me really curious. Like I saw an interview that he really wanted Ryan Reynolds to come back as Hal if he said yes. But if he didn't say yes, like if they, I don't know if they had a conversation or not, but had he had said no, it makes me wonder who else could he have brought in if that didn't work out. But that also does sort of bring up another point with what WB initially planned. Yeah, like since they weren't allowing him to use Green Lantern anything in his movies. Um, they did have like the conversation kept going back and forth between a movie which is sort of like what we're getting with this new show, where it's sort of a buddy cop type deal with Hal and John, and a TV show where I really don't know how far that got into development. Just a casting for Guy Gardner and maybe Alan Scott, like I was bringing up earlier, but both just didn't end up happening for whatever reason.
yeah, it's unfortunate. We might see it. We don't know. I mean, shit is happening behind the scenes. I'm sure of it. Which could lead us into the Zack Snyder portion of this. What do you think about our current universe? Not not our, because I don't fucking like that universe. The current DC universe and Supergirl flopping, and now Zach's taking pictures of the WB tower and going on freaking on these little things and whatever they call it with what's his name? That comic book writer, the one that wrote The Dark Knight.
Frank Miller.
Frank Miller, hanging out with Frank Miller. Do you think, like, is there, any chance that we might get something? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I'll speak on Supergirl in just a second, but as for Zack Snyder taking pictures, I don't want to get my hopes up just yet because he did the same thing taking a picture in front of Paramount, and I don't know if he's still in talks with Paramount, but as of right now, we still haven't heard anything about that. But as for WB, something has to be happening because whether they restore the Snyderverse or not, what could possibly convince him to come back after all the crap that they have been giving him? Because, like, you've brought this up before. Like, if he was in charge of the DC universe in its entirety, like James Gunn was, everybody would be reacting the exact same way that happened when James Gunn was brought on. But I'd be down if he's up for just doing a DC Elseworld story. Like that's legit my only hope as a DC fan, like just DC, not necessarily Green Lantern fan, just DC fan at this point, are the Elseworld projects like My Adventures with Superman. That's turning out pretty good. And excuse me. And what's another one? The animated Absolute Batman show that we're getting, and the Batman Nightfall trilogy animation that's coming out later. I'm particularly excited about that one. And yeah, you know what? It feels like at this point, what do we need a cinematic universe for? Because the Elseworld stories are looking me good. But you know what? Sorry, back to Zack Snyder. I will have hope that something positive comes out of this, but I won't hold my breath if it's not like a Snyderverse thing, which if it is, I will be jumping through yeah, roof to Mars if
You
this happens.
both. You and I both, buddy. Yeah. So yeah, you get it. You get
Yeah.
it. Uh,
But as for I'm sorry.
no,
I
no.
was about to bring up Supergirl flopping.
Oh yeah.
Um and I'm gonna bring this out to the public, basically near word for word what I was DMing you on Instagram. I joked that this would happen years ago. Like, go watch Angry Joe's rant on when James Gunn's first announced that Henry Cavill wasn't going to be Superman anymore. That if his Superman flopped harder than Black Adam, that he would throw his head back and laugh. That was basically me, but with any single one of these DC projects under James Gunn. And not only did it make not even as much money as Black Adam, but it made less money than The Flash. And I am losing my mind.
Yeah. That movie is like a quadruple mega flop. It's like one of the most. I think it's DC's. I think it might be the most. I don't think I'm saying this right. The most flopped. I don't think you could be the most flopped. Maybe you can, but I think it's. I think how much did Black Adam? Let's talk about the movies that go back all the way till 2013. We know that Man of Steel made more than as much as people want to fucking argue about that. Still made more than Superman 2025.
Yep.
The Flash made 237 mil, right?
Right.
60, some almost 3, I think. Let me
Something
see.
like that.
all DC films box office since 2013. Let's see. Let's see what our friend Google has to say. All right. So Man of Steel 670, 873 BBS. We already know this.
Mm-hmm.
822. Suicide Squad, even though as much as, you know, it wasn't great because it got fucked with, it still made money.
Yeah.
Even Justice League made more than Supergirl. That's sad.
You gotta be kidding. Seriously?
Holy shit, dude. Yeah, it is the number one flop of DC films since 2013.
Gosh.
Look at all of Zack Snyder's movies up in the top. Look at how much money those movies made compared to the Hamadaverse.
Yeah, like obviously it made it more people liked it than not because people kept showing up for Zack at least.
Yep. Yeah, I've said this. See, that was the issue. As much as people want to say that that universe sucked and Zack ruined the characters, he still created a fan base. There were still people wanted it. They were invested in his story, and
Mm-hmm.
that you know what? That's I have like a love hate with that. Like I'm happy it's happening. I'm happy it's happening because it's showing how good it was, you know, to the haters. But at the same time, it's like fuck, man. Right now, the Snyderverse would be done. Right now,
Mm-hmm.
like all of the movies would be, the whole entire universe would be done by now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like bittersweet. But yeah, Supergirl, 125.9 million. It's it's out.
It's not a good look. It really isn't.
No, it's not. And you know what's funny? I've been seeing a lot of people online, a lot of fans talking about, you know, how, oh, it's not James Gunn's fault because he didn't direct the movie.
No, he did. He totally did. Like he like this is another problem that the previous regime at Warner Brothers had with studio interference because he came in and did a bunch of re-edits and reshoots and like that like again speaking as somebody who hasn't seen it, he
Yeah,
freaking added a song choice during the climax himself and I'm why you like didn't he say in his video about the chapter 1 with gods and monsters that the key thing with this universe is to make sure that the directors get their vision? Like I remember him saying something like that and I'm like, bro, this is just another lie on your lying
oh
tour that
yeah.
you're just
So
making yourself look bad.
yeah, he's been lying since 2022. Like I don't trust anything that comes out of that man's mouth. And he kind of dug himself in a hole because I think as a CEO for the DC cinematic universe, I feel like somebody like that should be a little more quiet and not be so active online arguing with randos and randas about, you know, your your storytelling basically. Like he really fucked himself over by doing that, and I kind of low key feel sorry for him at the same time. I don't have Twitter, you probably do, but
I don't. So like I'll go as far as TikTok and Instagram and on occasion Facebook, nothing else.
yeah. Well, I have like a lurker account. I'm never on there, but when I get curious, I'll go on that account. And I think it was a couple of weeks ago. I went to go look at James Gunn's account, you know, because he said something about Supergirl before it released in theater. That man is getting torn into fucking shreds, you know, and he's not responding. He's been quiet. He's been fucking quiet since Supergirl.
Well, it at least helps that he's being quiet because we don't have to listen to him.
No, but it's kind of sad too because he was so, he's such an egomaniac online,
And you know what makes this whole thing even worse on a personal standpoint? My Supergirl, aside from Harley Quinn, is my wife's favorite character.
Oh,
Seri-
really? You like Supergirl?
Seriously. And I really did not want to break this bad news to her. She's probably hearing it on this, but like it really hurts, because I watched her like getting so excited with the CW show, as much crap as that gets, and she got really excited seeing Sasha Kaye and what brilliant work she did with the Flash, and like, man, like what could have been.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you the number one mistake that he made was going with the Woman of Tomorrow storyline as that version of Supergirl. Like, dude, why would you, out of all versions, why that version?
Like, even from fans of that book hate the movie. Like, why would you go out of your way to say that you're adapting this story and then later on say it's not a one for one adaptation, which can't, which isn't always a bad thing, but it kind of goes back to something that I do want to bring up in a little bit, like before we wrap up, that like, who are you making this for?
Him, him and his wife, all the fucking idiots
Oh
out
my gosh.
there.
Oh, I was scared that we were gonna bring up his wife.
Oh, oh my God! As much as I actually like James Gunn's wife. I
Like,
don't like that he inserts her and everything, but I do like that actress.
yeah,
But
like I don't hate her. I'm just saying, like, that's the one part of Black Adam that I have to fidget with my remote control and fight hard not to press the fast forward button. Because it hurts watching that movie again, knowing what comes later.
yeah, you know, like what like it really upsets me too. It not even upsets me, but it just makes me shake my head at the fandom. Is that James Gunn is doing all the same things, not the same things, obviously, because Zach is on a whole different level with his films, but he's like doing his own thing with these characters. He's picking versions that are not the best, and he's technically screwing them up, right? But for some reason, when Snyder did it, Snyder got he was getting death threats. People were talking about his daughter after, she, unalived herself, right? I haven't heard anything like that happen with James Gunn. And I'm not saying that's what I want to happen to James Gunn. No, I don't. Like I said, I really do, in the bottom of my heart, I do feel partially sorry for him, because it sucks. But it's like, what the fuck? Why does James Gunn get a free pass? What are your thoughts on that? Like, why does
like
he
like
grace?
it's sort of how I feel about, in a way, how I feel about Christopher Nolan. Like, I feel the same way about James Gunn, that I do not hate these directors. Like, they're very talented in their own way and they got a good eye for things like what they
Yeah,
make. But I'm not just gonna blindly like something when I feel like there's a bad decision being made, or if the movie is just not good. And like, it's like I'm in a minority when I say that Christopher Nolan is overrated. Like, I get that, but
you can't
James,
get it.
like freaking James, like, you, like, why are you being so stupid? Like, you're a director, and if you're going to make a universe that's more director driven, then make a universe that's more director driven.
Yeah, he's he definitely belongs in the B list character tier for me. I think James Gunn is he's good with these side characters that are like nobody really pays attention to, like for instance the Suicide Squad. Those characters he did okay with. I can see him doing a Booster Gold, but I can't see him fucking with the main course, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know?
It makes you wonder, why doesn't he just take over for Booster Gold if he's that frustrated with that show?
He should
And,
fire himself and do that.
and you know what? The like as far as his filmography, like I haven't seen a whole lot out of him aside from his comic book based films. Like I really liked his first and third Guardians film. I didn't like the second one that much. I haven't watched the Suicide Squad since I first watched it because like I have my own beef with the Suicide Squad in as far as adaptations go, but that's a different story. But like I didn't like that one as much. Yeah, like that, and I haven't seen any of Peacemaker. I don't think that makes me a James Gunn hater. That just makes me somebody that likes some of what he did and some that I don't. And as far as anything else that he makes in DC, I'm just not interested unless he has something up his sleeve when it comes to Green Lantern, of course.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, he's. I think the universe is done personally. I see people out there saying, "Oh, Man of Tomorrow." I won't be surprised if they do a Batgirl move on Man of Tomorrow. The thing is, people could say what they fucking want, but at the end of the day, Supergirl flopped, and the studio is looking at that. The studio does care about that. They care about money, and I don't know why people are going around the internet talking about like, oh, it's okay, we're still gonna get Man of Tomorrow. We don't know that. I mean, you guys don't know that. You
Like
guys.
I wouldn't be surprised if they do that. I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't do that because if this like I read about how a month or two before the movie is set to release, James Gunn's contract will be out and he's throwing everything into this movie. Like not just Superman and Lex Luthor, which was supposed to be the concept of this plot, and yet he's throwing in the entire Justice Gang, Supergirl, Blue Beetle, and John Stewart Green Lantern. And maybe even Shazam. Like I saw this post. Like I don't know if it's true or not, but I read about how they're possibly going to bring back Zach Levi in
Uh,
this new movie. And
this,
like, why? I'm pretty sure he's a DC EU character, James. Are you pulling the same bullcrap that you did with John Cena?
oh yeah, yeah, good point. That's another thing that pisses me off. It's still there's still some residue from the DCEU. You want to talk about like, oh, we're gonna do a complete 100% reboot? No, the fuck you're not. No.
No. Like say what you will about Kevin Feige and how he handles with some of the Marvel projects, but at least with Secret Wars, that's going to be a soft reboot. It's not going to reboot everything. It's going to be a soft reboot because Tom Holland is signed a contract for another trilogy of Spider-Man films, including the one we got recently with Brand New Day, and they're still in active development for Doctor Strange 3. We're getting a third Black Panther film. And what's another one? Oh, have you seen Brand New Day yet?
No, is it out?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I honestly, is that does are they bringing back old characters in that movie? Do you know?
Like kinda like they brought in John Bernthal as the Punisher and they brought back Angry Hulk with this one.
I haven't seen it, but I probably will go see it because I actually do like Spider-Man, but I don't really care for Tom Holland Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I,
Hey, it's all right. Different opinions and all that.
yeah,
But I won't spoil whatever old characters happen, like aside from what they revealed in the trailers. But aside from that, they just brought in the Fantastic Four. They're not gonna reboot everything. They're just gonna continue the stories of these characters that still have stories left to tell.
yeah,
Whereas James Gunn, burn everything else down. I'm taking my crap and leaving.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, and you know, and like you were just saying earlier, he can't even commit to a full reboot because, like I was saying earlier, he brought in his version of the Suicide Squad, even though that was originally a DCEU project along with Peacemaker. And you could make the argument that Blue Beetle fits with his universe, and yeah, there wasn't really much connecting Blue Beetle with the DCEU. That's fine. But with Peacemaker spinning off from Suicide Squad, and the first season
All of it.
taking place in the DCEU, and then season two taking place in the DCU, retconning the ending of the first season where they swapped out Zack Snyder's DC characters with the Justice Gang. But even then, you have this version of Peacemaker meeting another version of Peacemaker from this universe. Like, what the heck? Why does it have to be so complicated?
Yeah, it's I don't understand that. I you know it's funny too because like the haters can say what they want. Like, oh, the Snyderverse sucks. Apparently not. Apparently James Gunn doesn't think it sucks because he still wants to use fucking characters from the Snyderverse.
Mhm.
Anyways, um, you know, I always bring this up because I think because I love the Flashpoint animation. I'm pretty sure you watched it. It's one of my
Yeah.
favorite animations. Love it. Love that fucking animation. I,
Yes. Like even as a Hal Jordan fan, and it pains me seeing him die in that movie. I still love that movie.
yeah, I always think that it would be such a good idea if they would just do if they would bring Ezra Miller back as the Flash and just use that to unreboot or deboot, whatever you want to call it, bring back the universe to what it originally was back in 2013. I feel like
Yeah.
that would be a perfect film to deboot.
I'm kind of like where you are with that, but with Superman in a way, because you know something, they canceled Superman and Lois as a result of this new Superman because they didn't want any competition. I hate you, James, but I love you, James. But either way, um, the thing is with that, at least they gave that show another season to wrap up their
Mm,
story. Not just this story, but this entire universe that started with Arrow, right?
yeah.
Why not do the same thing with Henry? Like I even remember seeing this one fan pitch for a possible Man of Steel 2 where it's like a final showdown between Superman and Darkseid. Like you don't have to bring in other characters necessarily because it could be a sort of final fight scene that's on par with the finale to Superman the animated series,
Mhm.
which I'd be down if he incorporates the entire universe against Darkseid, but I wouldn't hate the idea of just Superman versus Darkseid.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't either. I mean, that's the fight we all want to fucking see, right?
Like, it's like both you and Zach are just pointing out the obvious here.
Yeah, and that's what I loved. As much as I still want the Snyderverse, obviously we all do. I still got that little bit of satisfaction in Zack Snyder's Justice League 21, the end, when Superman and Darkseid are doing a stare down, and it's like Zach knows what we want. He's not fucking around. He's not pussyfooting around any fucking little, whatever. He knows what's up, and that's what he was going for. And James Gunn, I don't know what he's going for. What the fuck? What are you going for, James Gunn? What
I'll
like?
tell you what he's going for. Saying that this will be more comic accurate, or at least that's what the fans say. Saying that this will be more creator driven. Saying that this will be any better than what we got before with the previous regime of WB, but it's not.
No, it's not. It's fucking terrible. I think he knows too. Yeah, and look at Superman 2025. I didn't personally like the fucking film. In fact, I hated it more the second time I watched it.
Really?
But at least he kind of he just barely made it in there, right when the door slammed, he got in there, as far as money wise. I think personally, I don't think it did financially great, like everyone wants to make it seem like, but it's
Like, but
better.
but that's the thing though. Um Theater ticket prices nowadays aren't the same as what we had in 2013, and like that's not, you can't even debate this.
Yeah, I agree with the inflation and stuff, but I mean, everything, minimum wage was also, like fucking what in California. I remember in minimum wage in 2013 was $8. Now it's like close to 20 over here.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. Like I don't have the receipt for it, but this is how personal my first viewing of Man of Steel was. Like me and my dad went to Walmart to buy these collectible tickets, and the 2D versions at least were $8, and then they're, again, they're not the same price tickets we have today unless you go on a discount day.
yeah, yeah. It is crazy. Theaters are crazy, but I mean, shit. What Spider-Man's tracking to make 1 billion supposedly.
It's already past it.
See, so what is the excuse now? What? Okay, I don't want to.
Superhero fatigue, my butt.
I don't want to turn this into a James Gunn fan roast session. Dude, they're just as toxic as how they've been calling Snyder fans toxic for like the last fucking 10 years, right?
Yeah,
They're
they know they're guilty of it. I'm guilty of it. Yeah,
bad.
but
Yeah,
like I can't say if I'm any better now, because I'm probably like going, yeah, to like my reviews on Instagram for the Green Lantern, yeah, and all that. Um, if this leak for this show is true, my review is probably just gonna be me complaining about this one leak, that if it's true. But hey, my Instagram and Facebook, I can do whatever the fuck I want.
yeah. Why not? We that's what YouTube's for. Literally, it's your shit. You're tubing your you're channeling all whatever the fuck. Um. Okay. What was I gonna say? So we touched on Snyderverse, Supergirl. Um. You haven't seen Supergirl, right?
I haven't seen anything under James Gunn other than his Suicide Squad and Blue Beetle.
Okay, I haven't seen it either. I'm waiting for it to drop on HBO Max, I guess, because I'm gonna do a watch party. It's gonna be a first reaction. You should join if you want to. You know.
I'll maybe just let me know on Instagram, and I'll let you know if I have the time, or maybe I'll listen to it while I'm at work, like
Yeah.
usual. You know.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, because I wanna. That's probably what I'm gonna do. We're probably. It's gonna be me and one of my viewers that's always over here. We're just gonna probably just trash the fuck out of it, dude. To be honest with you,
Yeah.
it's so hard not to trash that universe, dude. It really is. And it all started from the Hamadaverse. That's where all the trash really started piling.
Yeah,
You know.
for sure.
No, but yeah, okay, well, that'll be it. I appreciate you coming by.
Yeah,
If
like
you want, if you can, put in your information, your YouTube channel and your Instagram information in the comments so my viewers can catch it and
yeah.
give you a follow. Do you have any last thoughts before we wrap up? Like
Yes, yes, I do. Like, it goes back to what I was saying about Supergirl and that crap show about how it doesn't fully adapt that comic. It's sort of like bringing up Green Lantern again and the various problems that it had with the development throughout the DCEU. I do remember this one interview with Christopher McQuarrie. I don't know if you've seen it, but he was approached by WB to um, possibly make a Green Lantern project with um, his team from Mission Impossible. I don't know if he was going to bring in any of the cast from those movies, but he was going on about how the studio wanted to have him adapt a specific idea from comic books. And he was ranting about how um, they were complaining to him, like, if the movie isn't good, I'm not doing it. Like, it doesn't matter if it's comic accurate or not, I'm not doing it. Which I get. Like, he's a filmmaker first and foremost, and he knows his stuff. Like, I like what yeah, I see out of him. But at the same time, it goes back to um Supergirl. Like, if you're like, these movies are based on comic books, and the idea of adapting a source material like a comic book, it's not any different than adapting, say, Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings. These books have a fan base. And if you're not making these movies, TV shows, video games for fans of these books, then who the heck are you making it for?
hmm, yeah. Yep, and you know what? You're absolutely right. And I think all directors, all writers should really think about that before making, you know, adapting a live action, epic character. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
I agree with that 100%.
Yeah, so my Instagram, if you guys are out there listening, sorry, I'll see if I can answer any questions you have throughout the stream on Instagram if I point them out on Instagram story. My Instagram is that nerdy guy 13. My Facebook is just that nerdy guy. That nerdy guy 13. I meant 12 on TikTok. It's that nerdy guy 12 on TikTok, and just that nerdy guy on YouTube. And and I hope you like what you see on there, because I'm currently just sticking to music videos on YouTube. I hope to the Lord Almighty that um I will make videos again as myself, because I miss doing those videos. I just got a lot on my plate right now, and
Oh yeah,
reviews on Instagram and Facebook are just the best I can do right now.
yeah, I get it. Yeah, YouTube, it takes a lot of commitment. It's
I
not
know.
easy as people, as it looks easy, but no, it's not. Like I 100% get it. Okay, well, it's been a pleasure, and thank you for coming by.
Thank you.
Of course, we'll do this again for sure.
All right. All right. Good night.
I'm trying to kick you off.
It's all right. Later, nerds and nerdettes.
All right. That was nice. That nerdy guy, he's been following me for a while. Like I said, I pay attention on who watches me and who comes through here. I know it's a little harder now that I have subscribers mode on because not everyone can fucking come in here and talk your shit. But anyways, so hey Dots, back to Dots. Now that I got the interview out of the way, I can go back into regular Bell mode. I'm gonna hang out for about 2 minutes or so, let you guys know what's going on next time. And made 2 billion. My fucking ass, dude. Now you don't have to pay me that $100, Dots, but it's still funny that it didn't make them $1 billion. Anyways, so our next guest, I'm trying to get my husband on too. He's so shy, and because he's been in this space too. And you guys don't have to be a YouTuber for you guys to come on here and share your thoughts and for me to pick on your brain, like I really don't care, you can just be a regular Joe Schmo. But you guys already know Will from the Sci-Fi Center. I'm gonna hit him up probably next week, and he'll probably be our September guest. And then if you guys are interested, hit me up on Instagram. You guys know my Instagram. Follow me on Instagram. Hit me up on Instagram. Let me know if you want to be on an episode. Also, the next, probably what's going to happen before that interview with the Sci-Fi Center, me and Fourth 1000 are going to do a watch party on Supergirl 2026, which I have not seen yet, guys. Yeah, I have not seen it. I'm saving it. I'm saving my first genuine reaction for you guys. So stay tuned for that. And you already know,